So today we're going to be talking about factoring polynomials using a new form. And so the form that we previously used is our form x squared plus bx plus c. And in this one, our coefficient here was just a 1. Now what we're going to be doing is adding in a coefficient that is a value other than 1. And so in our notes package here, we'll see our standard form is written out as ax squared plus bx plus C. There's a couple of different ways to do this, so depending on how someone has taught you or what makes most sense to you, different ways might work a little bit better. I'm going to show you the way that I like first, and then I will show you the way that most people like afterwards. Here, what we're going to be doing is factoring out this polynomial equation here. So we have 3x squared plus 17x plus 10. Now they're all positive, so that makes it a little bit easier for us. But what we're going to do is we're going to find two numbers that multiply to equal 15, okay, and same two numbers that add to equal 17x. Okay, now this is really important. The reason that we have 15 here is because the reason we have 30, not 15, is because that 3 multiplies to that 10. And so we need to make sure that we are accounting for that when we're coming up with our two alternative numbers here. And so we're going to start listing. So I've got 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. Once I have these two numbers, 2 and 15, and I know that those make my values work, what I'm going to do is add those together. So it'd be 3x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 10, okay? And so what I'm gonna do here is break it up just like I did before. So stick my two brackets together and pull out common terms. The common term for this first bracket here is an x, and then I'm left with 3x plus 2. And then the common term for this bracket here is a 5, and so then I am left with 3x plus 2. Now you'll notice again, just like we did in the last video, once we have two brackets that equal each other, that's going to be one factor, and the terms outside of the bracket are going to equal the other factor. So my one factor is going to be x plus 5, and my other factor is going to be 3x plus 2. Now let's just go and double check this so that we know that it worked here. Okay, so x times 3x is 3x squared. X times 2 is plus 2x. 5 times 3x is plus 15x. And then 5 plus 2 is plus 10. And so then I can simplify it, and I got 3x squared plus 17x plus 10, and I have done this correctly. So that's one way to solve for it. Now the other way to solve for it, personally, I don't like as much, and I find it a little easier to mess up, but it is a valid way to do it, and some people it does work a little bit nicer. So using that same problem here, I'm going to put 3x squared plus 17x plus 10. Now in this situation, I'm going to draw out two brackets right from the beginning, and I'm going to split up that 3x and x just like I did before, and that's where I'm starting. Now I know because all of those values are positive, both of these are going to be addition, and not one's going to be addition and one's going to be subtraction. Now we need two numbers whose product is 10, so that when placed in the remaining brackets and multiplied by 3x and x, it will give us a sum of 17x. And so these numbers are going to be 1 times 9 or 2 times 5. Okay, and so with those values right there, what I can do is add those back into my brackets. And so I know that, let's just test this here. I know that if I added 1 and 9, what I'm going to get is 3x squared plus 18x plus 1. So if there was a positive and negative value, this one might work here, but it doesn't in this case. And then plus 9. So that doesn't work because I don't get a 10, and because there's no positives and negatives, I'm not going to get that value. If you were looking for a positive or a negative, either in the, like for your product, then these numbers might work. However, what I really need to check now is that 2 and 5 works here. And so I'm going to plug in the 2 and the 5 and look for common terms, and double check my work here. And so this is 3x squared, that's my first one, plus 15x plus 2x plus 10. Now this one does give us the correct answer. I just find it easier to make mistakes as I go through it. And so I personally like the first method better, but that's up to you to decide. So you're going to check using FOIL every time. FOIL is super important, and we've talked about it before, but please, please, please don't forget about it, because that is a really good safety method here. Now this one is finding, I'm going to write this out for you. For this method, it's find two numbers whose product is 10, so that when they are added to the brackets, and multiplied by x and 3x, they equal 17x. Okay, so that's the quick way here, or sorry, their sum. They add to equal 17x. That's what I should have said. So those are the two different ways you can do it, and just side by side, this one here, we're going to look at finding common terms, adding all four of those numbers in there from the get-go when we have our multiplication of 2 and 5, and then we can take out a common term from each bracket, and we should be left with two of the same. This one, right away, you're looking for a number that fits that pattern, which is why I personally don't like it as much, because it can sometimes be harder to find those numbers. But as always, if you have any questions, please let me know.